What's up, young Toady? Oh my gosh, young Toady, brother. Yeah, I am pretty happy today, man. I think Z's is making me happy. I don't have the attitude, man. Even if I had the body, I don't have the attitude. Even if I could achieve that body, could I achieve the attitude? I don't know. Man, there's all these, like, I can't find the original, like, the original Z's, man. Like, come on, man. Nine years ago. This guy's jacked, man. Look at him. He's like the perfect body dimensions. Yeah.
Are you fucking lying, bro? Shit, bro. Hey, fuck, sorry.
Yeah, like some of these videos are really shit. This is just him dancing? I don't want to see just him dancing. I want to see him lifting weights. This is motivation. I am, buddy. That's this playlist. So when I post a link in chat now, I'm posting the video I'm watching. We're watching.
It's time to talk one-on-one with everyone here. Listen carefully, bros. This is the revolution. Everybody asks him, what the fuck is this about? What the fuck is up with those videos, cunt? You fucking up yourself, cunt. It's a fucking act. There is no Ziz. You mind, bro? I'll give you more reason to mind now, bro. It's fucking Ziz, bro. Everyone has a little bit of Ziz in them. Every fucking cunt out there. You're a fucking sick cunt if you want to be, bro. Stop being a fucking sad cunt, alright? Go out, get bitches, but be a fucking sick cunt like Ziz, bro. That's what we fucking do, cunt. That's what we do in this shit, bro. You wanna be a fucking little sad cunt? Fuck that shit, bro. Every little fucking hater's gonna hate, bro. You'll never be like Ziz, bro. Cause I'm a fucking sick cunt, mate. I'm a fucking sick cunt, mate. Years ago. Oh, it was electro. This music was so 2011.
I don't know what went wrong. If I did, wouldn't matter, cause it just wasn't enough.
Everything is these.
Record it. Record it now. Yo. And they're already prepared. Like the new camera? Yeah. 2 megapixels, bro. 2 megapixels. Fucking mad quality. And that's also 24 sound. Yeah. What? I was gonna. That one. 2 Angus patties. Ooh, 2 Angus burgers. The patties. Ooh, just the patties, yeah. I want any coffee. Yeah. I want to get patties. Yeah. Can you do that? Alrighty, man. We look like.
Crazy, eh?
Alright, so everyone out there somewhere, they've got some dream, they might have, it's Alright, so everyone out there somewhere, they've got some dream, they might have, it's manifested itself inside you, maybe from childhood, maybe from, you know, your adolescence. And it might be a dream girl, a dream job, a dream lifestyle, but you've got this hunger, this desire to have it, and you don't know where to start. Well, here's what you need to do. You need to grab that fucking dream, grab it out of the clouds, grab it out of that idea and that mindset that it's not possible, and you throw it down onto the ground so you can walk that path to success. Okay, I spoke to a careers counselor when I was 17 years old, and I said I want to be a chef, I want to be in the military, and I want to be an engineer. She goes, you can't do all three, pick one. A careers counselor told me that. Apparently she knew what you could do as a career. And I said, watch me. That's what I said. Anyone knows me these days knows I'm pursuing all three of those at the same time. Why? Because I had a dream and I grabbed it. I seized it. I turned that dream, because of my drive, that dream became my destiny. Okay, and once it's your destiny, you're gonna work so fucking hard to make that dream into reality. Because it ain't some far-fetched thing out there in the ether. It's something that matters to you, something that you honestly believe that you were meant to achieve. And you don't want to let yourself down. You don't want to let anyone else down, but most importantly, yourself. Okay, so remove that self-doubt, remove that complacency, grab that dream, put it down on the road and start walking the fucking path.
Pre-workout pump up. Should the fuck I'm hit the gym. Z's. I'm not subscribed to Z's. Is this the Z's? 12 years ago. Must be him. Rare Z's. Oh no. It's not him.
It's recording.
Was he gay? Nothing wrong with being gay. No, he said F bitches. There's a funny Australian news report, but I can't find it, man. Oh my god. Eight years ago? Side to side? Where's the live? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, I know this is gonna be DMCA'd. I can't watch this. MTV, Ariana Grande. We love you, Ariana. What is this from? AMA 2014 American Music Awards. Maybe we'll just watch it. Taylor Swift. Ariana. Muy bueno, mi amigo. Oh wait, she's Italian. Molto bene. English accent mixed with a car horn. The Nikki comes on. Oh my goodness, where are you, Nikki? Oh my goodness. Mogs, completely Mogs Ariana. I didn't even remember Ariana was on stage. I thought she was a back dancer. Oh my god. I don't know who this is. Anyways. Let's go back. Let's go back to 2014, boys and girls. Actually, I'm happy now. Kind of. What are we gonna watch, man? You guys want to watch the first place Eastern Regionals Yo-Yo champion? We'll watch a little bit of it. Terrence Wong. Where is it?
Give it up for Terrence Wong.
Let's go!
This was this weekend.
All the boys and girls, I got some true stories to tell. You're back outside, but they still lie. Whoa, yeah. Take off the foo-foo, take off the couches, take off the Wi-Fi, take off the uniform, take off the car room, take off the flex and the white house, take off the word jury. I'ma take 10 steps, then I'm taking off top 5. Take off the fabricate streams and the microwave memes. It's a real
That was really sick, man. That was really fucking good. The slacks, man. Used to be a total tech guy, and now he's bringing out the dirty ass slacks, man. Fuck yeah. This combo was crazy. How long was that? That was crazy. That was an insane first trick. Fucking hell, man. 45 seconds. Holy fuck. That was crazy. Wow. Oh man, the meme body shit. I hate this body shit so fucking much. I hate it so fucking much. I hate this fucking body shit, man. Bro, he's so good, man. Like, stupid. So fucking slacky. Oh, man, this fucking bullshit. This is bullshit. Wow. Nice. Bullshit. He's all grown up, man. He's all grown up. He's a man. Actually, I first met Terrence in 2017, 2018 in Toronto. I said he should have won the national championship. I came in like third or something. I thought he was the best.
Give it up for Jackie Lee.
This guy's seriously underrated. Bad start. He's got some sick tricks, man. I respect it though. I respect this. You know why? Because he's going for the hard tricks. Please say he has another yo-yo. Fuck me, man. Like, look at this. Man. He's really fucking up there. So good, man. These tricks are fucking insane. That was insane. I think he missed it, but that was insane. Ooh. Holy fuck me, man. So fucking dirty. Hey, he nodded it. That's fucking bullshit. Fucking arm bullshit. We love you, Jackie. That was sick. Thank you for playing those sick tricks, dude. It's way better than fucking arm bullshit. This guy's from Ottawa. Let's see what he did.
Give it up for Christian Veselowski.
Yo, what's a big brown or big Bowser burrito? Bowser big bean burrito. Sorry. Black T-shirt have weight stringers to get disqualified. Oh wow, how'd you learn that? I guess you don't get disqualified, but it's highly preferred. Black string on white shirt. Oh wow, interesting. I did not know that. I really didn't know that. See, like, these guys are way better. Like, but the competition rules are bullshit, man. Like this bullshit. Like the Jackie's was way better than this guy. I love this guy, but like, what the fuck is this? I mean, I'm not hating on him, but I know he has better tricks than this. It's the rules. Oh my gosh. What's up, Bowser Big Bean Burrito? How are ya? Saturn and Aries. Is Saturn and Aries now? That makes sense. Dino Lee, you want to see Dino Lee? Second place, the Angelo fam. That's crazy. Bullshit. See, like, he came, like, that's just sick. Like, that's really hard. I'm not saying it, but like, he came in second just because of the body bullshit. The rules are retarded. Okay, now we have to watch, like, maybe the best freestyle every night.
Welcome from Japan,
Takeshi Matsura. Oh wow, insane. Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. Oh, Takeshi. to Shanghai, actually, I think. Yeah, Shanghai. I'm gonna watch it on mute. I don't want to get copyrighted. Holy fuck me, man. Sorry, let me read the comments. Sorry if I missed the comments of my friends. And he's got the best front style too. He makes front style relevant again. Holy fuck, man, that was insane. Oh, that was so nice. Oh, man. Oh, man. To do this, like, to have this as a freestyle is like ridiculous. It's obviously he did it many times, but like it's fucking insane. That was ridiculous. The laceration under whip, that was insane. This is fucked. That was amazing. That might be like the best 2 minutes of yoyoing I've ever seen. What did I comment on? I think I commented on it. I think I said this is the best 2 minutes of yoyoing I've ever seen. Alright.
Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how to create miracles instantly. This came up today for me because I created that miracle today and thought I have to share this. This is just too good. I also shared it with a friend of mine who applied it and miracles happened instantly. So I thought, what a great time to share it with you guys.
I guess I better
Here's
start,
what to
eh?
do. You have, okay, sit down, think about an issue that you find to be difficult, where you don't know, I don't know how the sound is, that you don't know how to shift, it feels like it's stuck, it's negative. So an issue that is negative for you, an event that is negative for you, something that you feel like, oh, I wish this could just turn around. You have a lot of resistance around it. It's a lot of like, you struggle to accept the situation, something that just feels bad, right? Something that just looks bad. You just feel like there's, I don't know how to, you know, it just, whatever it, even if it's a, whether it's a simple thing or a big thing, whatever it is, here's what to do. This issue, number one, you sincerely say thank you for this situation. You say thank you and you feel grateful. Why? You say you feel grateful because you know that life cares for you, God cares for you, and there is a purpose to this. So you say thank you. Not only that, you now, from a place of gratitude, you start thinking of all the ways why you're grateful for this. Now, it takes a bit of practice because gratitude, like everything else, it's a habit, it's a training. If your mind is not used to walking down that path, if you don't have the neural pathways for gratitude, it takes a bit of practice. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to practice. You sit down, you write down all the reasons why you're grateful. Now, the reasons might be like, I'm grateful that I have the resources to deal with the situation. I'm grateful that I know I'll get out of it unscathed. Like, I'm grateful for all the other great things that I have in my life that are working well for me. I'm grateful for, you know, handling this situation the best way. I'm grateful, you know, all the reasons why you're great. Now, because I don't have a specific example, then I can't tell you what exactly you'd be grateful for, but you sit down and you truly feel grateful. You can't fake this, because if you're faking it, the miracles is not gonna come, okay? So you think of all the ways why you're grateful. You say thank you. Even if you have to say, I don't know why this is serving me. I don't know how it's gonna serve me, but I'm grateful because I know it will, right? So you're grateful because you know it's gonna serve you. The second thing is you accept. You're not trying to change the situation. You accept the situation for what it is. So let's say, if you feel like something was lost, you accept the loss. You say, okay, this happened, or the situation is what it is. I'm accepting it exactly. I'm not resisting it. I'm not asking for it to be different. I'm just accepting that this is how it is. And I'm accepting also that there must be some good in this, otherwise it wouldn't have happened. So I'm not requiring the situation to change. And thirdly, you trust, and this was implied in the previous points, you trust that it was for your good, and you know that whatever you trust that whatever was lost will come to you from either from the same source or from another source. It will come to you regardless. Whatever you gave, whether it's love, whether it's money, whether it's care, whatever you gave comes back to you multiplied. Maybe not from the same source, but it will come back to you multiplied, and you sit in that trust. When you do that, and you do that sincerely, you sit down and you truly do these from your heart, you will find that the situation will resolve itself instantly. For me today, it was a matter of maybe 20 minutes, if even that, right? 20 minutes. Now, how does it resolve itself? It could be anything from the situation shifts. It could be that if there was a problem or someone was difficult, they'll come around. It might be that the situation doesn't shift, but your realization of how it serves you shifts the entire dynamic of it, and it's no longer a problem. Because when you are in gratitude, when you appreciate something, and when you know that life cares for you and you are in that trust, only good can come from that. You can't be harmed by something that you're grateful for. You can't be harmed by a situation that you're grateful for. So, that's how to do it. And it's also a great practice to be in gratitude, because when you're in gratitude, not only does it make you rich, which I think you should be going for, but gratitude also is such a blessing, because how can you have more if you don't feel that you have, like, it's like having anything without gratitude is like having a beautiful painting and you're blind. If you can't appreciate it, what's the point? So being grateful and practicing gratitude makes you feel rich every day, and it makes you feel so blessed to just train your mind to look for the things that you really do have. And it creates miracles. So try this today, and I would love if you guys could like get back to me and tell me what the results you have. Also, I want to let you know, just for information, I'm holding another masterclass on called Waves of Wealth, where we will work on removing your money blocks, getting you on the path to financial freedom, just like I did when I joined my first masterclass about 2 years ago. I want to do that for you. I want to share what I learned, the strategy that I learned that shifted everything for me. I want to share that with as many people as possible. The first one was free. This one is not going to be free. Why? Because I need you to be a little bit committed. I need you to have a little bit of skin in the game, because I want people that truly participate and to truly listen, because it's no good to me if you just sign up and you don't really take it to heart. The more you apply it, the more you're going to get out of it. And so I'm only charging $27. It's worth so much more. This can be a true shift. The information here, if you apply it, is going to be, it's going to be priceless. So I hope you join me. I look forward to seeing you there. And the information, I will put it in the description box so that you can show up, and you'll receive a few bonuses.
I swear I was about to write you.
The limiting beliefs that you may have, that you may not have known that you have. And as I've said before, limiting beliefs are really a block between what you want and where you are. To get to anything that you haven't had before, limiting beliefs are the only thing getting in the way. So we identify the limiting beliefs that are in the way, and I'll show you how to remove them. And that to me is priceless. It's made miracles for me in my life, and I really want to share that with as many people as possible who are willing to do what it takes to listen and to apply it, because information in itself is not going to make a difference. We have unlimited information. We're drowning in information. What's really going to make a difference is applying it.
Baby,
An example
thank you,
is
baby.
what
I love
talked
you.
about
I'm
with
so glad you're
gratitude.
here. I'm sorry
Just
I
talking
messaged
about
you earlier.
gratitude
I'm
is not
sorry.
gonna make a difference, right? You can know that gratitude is great, right? You can think that in theory it sounds great, but if you're not doing it, you won't have the benefits of it. It's not going to bless your life unless you actually start practicing it. So that's why I want you to have a bit of skin in the game, so that you actually do decide to sit down and do what needs to be done, which is to show up and do the exercises that I'm going to show you. These exercises in the workbook. The workbook is a bonus. The exercises in the workbook are instant frequency changers. Our vibration frequency determines what level of experience we get. If we're down at like anxiety, then
NORWAC is this weekend, by the way. That's a conference in
Wow,
Seattle.
Saturn
that's held every
is in
spring.
Aries. That's
I'll
crazy.
be giving a couple
It's
of
going to
talks there,
Aries.
so I hope to see some of you. If you're a Nightlight student, we'll be having a Nightlight student meetup Friday night in the atrium at 7:30, so maybe we'll see you there. Anyhow, what we're looking at here is Saturn's entrance into Aries today, and you can see Saturn at that anaretic degree. I wonder how all of you are doing with Saturn at the anaretic degree. We explored that last week. If we look at this, we're going to see that it's Saturday night into Sunday morning that Saturn changes signs. So the change of signs late Saturday night Central Time, I think it's around 11 p.m. my time.
Saturday,
in
Sunday.
Midwest here. But you'll see that transition happen from Saturday into Sunday. So after that, now I'm going to isolate Saturn and we'll remove everything else from our perspective so we can just look at the life cycle of Saturn in Aries. So this is our ingress, and ingresses are important because as soon as a planet changes signs in ancient astrology in a whole sign house format, that means that you've got a new set of topics in a new whole sign house that are being activated. So that's why we'll do horoscopes later this week for everyone. But taking a look at this ingress, Saturn is going to get up to the 1st degree before turning retrograde. The station happens in the middle of July. This is July 13th that Saturn is stationing. Saturn will then turn retrograde and work its way back through those first 2 degrees, 0 and 1, and return on September 1st to Pisces. Now, we then have the final push through Pisces taking place in retrograde fashion all the way until late November. So September, October, November, Saturn's back in Pisces, closing shop. We'll be doing some review on that, of course, and it's not like we'll forget about Saturn's work in Pisces because it's not entirely done yet. But after that takes place, Saturn's direct motion will bring it back into Aries by about the middle of February 2026. Then, if I take this forward, let's watch how Saturn rolls through Aries with its retrogrades back and forth, not entirely leaving the sign of Aries and dipping into Taurus until April of 2028. So from May of 2025 through April of 2028, we're mostly getting Saturn in Aries. This is the sign of Saturn's fall. I have given several talks about that dignity category, what it means, and how I hope that people will think about it rather than just throwing their hands up and going, oh my God, it's the worst thing in the world, you know, like it has a meaning. There's a reason behind the dignity category. So we hope that we can understand those things. So what I want to do today is I want to give you, first of all, it's not a trick, it's a method, but it's a kind of it's a handy tool or technique that anybody can use once you've understood just a little bit about the planets, you get a little understanding of the planetary symbolism down, you can use this technique when crafting your own delineations. I'm going to give you delineations that I crafted, but more importantly, I hope what you'll take away is the tools that will allow you to make your own. Because that's when we really get freed up inside and magical things happen when we create our own delineations. Just like you're learning the tarot, it helps to have teachers. It helps to have people you really admire the way they read, because that helps you grow and learn. But it's, you also want to have your own deck. So anyhow, on that note, one of the best ways that, first of all, philosophically, ancient astrologers thought about a planet, the sign that a planet rules. It wasn't really considered a ruler as much as it was considered a steward or a host. So if you're at my house, I'm your host. If you're in Aries, the home of Mars and the Sun, Mars being the natural domicile ruler and the Sun being the exaltation ruler, then when you're in the home of Mars and the Sun are your hosts. Now, every planet outside of its own sign is considered a guest in the ancient philosophical foundations of astrology, as planets are moving through each other's temples all the time in their transits. In fact, most of what we do in natal chart work is trying to understand what it means when one planet is in another planet's temple in the zodiac, and then what place that occupies in terms of the 12 houses, and how that relationship between a planet in another planet's sign and the location of its host works to facilitate a delineation regarding a topic. So when we have planets like Saturn coming in to Aries, the way that ancient astrologers thought about that was that Saturn is now going to be a guest in the temple of the Ram. And in the temple of the Ram, its hosts are Mars and the Sun. Now, anytime a guest is moving through life, if let's say I'm traveling in Europe, I'm not from Europe, I'm from the States, I'm going to be traveling through Europe, maybe I'm getting one of those Euro passes, you can go on the train and go all around. But the thing is that I'm going to be largely dependent upon the good graces of the people I meet and the people who act as my hosts in another country, whether it's people at the rail station, I'm getting on one of these trains, or if it's someone in a restaurant or someone guiding me to, a B&B or a hostel or something. So the way that it works is travelers, the planets, who are called wanderers, as they move through each other's homes, they have needs. So this is an analogy you can use sort of to work with. In other words, when Saturn enters Aries, Saturn comes in as a traveler, as a guest with needs. And it will rely upon Mars and the Sun to get those needs fulfilled. This makes it very exciting to track Saturn in Aries in a more dynamic way. We can sit back and come up with all sorts of, archetypal delineations that will sort of always be there. But as Saturn tracks through Aries, notice, for example, how important it will be to simultaneously track the major aspects taking place between the Sun and Mars, respectively, looking at what they're doing in the sky, is going to be really important, because their situation will be the means by which they provide for Saturn while it's in Aries. So you can always do that level of tracking, and especially when you're working with clients' charts and so forth, you have to do that level of tracking. If you want to be accurate and say more than, just roll out more than a bunch of cliches. So what we need to think about is whatever planet we're dealing with as a guest in someone else's home, what does that planet order? Let's say it's a B&B, and the hosts of the B&B, this is their house, but they're there to serve you. It's this very generous kind of idea. So what does Saturn order at the B&B of Aries? Well, whatever a planet orders is always going to be in alignment with its own natural significations. In other words, its own nature. So when Saturn goes through any sign, it tends to order the same stuff because it's Saturn, and Saturn has basic wants and needs in terms of how it is going to express itself. So what Saturn orders, before we think about how Aries will service Saturn's needs, let's talk about what Saturn orders. First, death and endings. Saturn rolls into any sign and says, hey, I am the planet that is exalted in the time of the fall equinox, the place where the darkness takes over from light. I have one of my homes in Capricorn, the darkest point of the year, and in Aquarius, in the middle of winter. So Saturn is a planet that has long been associated with the natural recurrence of death. Properly understood in an animistic cosmos that is considered sacred and divine, death isn't bad. Death is just a part of the process of the cycle of life. So it doesn't necessarily need to be, it doesn't always have to be literal, and it doesn't have to be a negative, dark, ominous, terrible thing. Death, endings, transitions from one era to another that are metaphorically represented by things like autumn, fall, winter. I know some of you live in the southern hemisphere, so just think of them as metaphors. So when Saturn arrives in Aries, or in any sign, it will always order up, express death and endings. Another thing that Saturn will order, regardless of where it is maturation, seriousness, and severity. If we think about the seasons of the solar year in terms of a developmental arc that maps itself onto human life, the dark half of the year was typically associated with the latter part of life, adulthood, where there's more responsibility and seriousness. And there's also a feeling of things being more severe. There's more of a gravitas and a feeling that there's more things are more consequential. That's what I'm trying to say. And the need to be mature, responsible, to take things seriously, to know that actions have reactions and consequences. Saturn can also be a little severe in terms of being like overly strict, or or limiting. If you think about the severest forms of weather in the cold part of the year, there's a feeling of oppression, or of like it's in Minnesota for sure, right? It's like super cold. This feels severe. So Saturn also associated with things that are a little heavier and weightier, but also more adult. So Saturn will order those things up at the Airbnb of Aries. Saturn will order things like sobriety, boundaries, and discipline. This is interesting because Saturn will often say, like, one of the qualities of youth is excitement, and almost like being drunk on life. That's the spring, that's the summer. And also maybe of trying to escape adulthood or responsibility. That, so Saturn comes in and says, let's sober up, like let's get real, let's set structures and boundaries and discipline in place, because something is at stake here. And whether that's survival, or earning a living, or paying your mortgage, or taking care of your kids if you have them, or dealing with a health issue, like life requires that you take it seriously when Saturn's around. And so that sense of this isn't a place to get drunk on illusion. This is a place to be real, to sober up, to take things seriously, to set structures and boundaries in place. Saturn will order that kind of thinking. I'm not necessarily saying that's the only thinking, that everyone ought to adopt Saturn's way of looking at the world, but nonetheless, that is the way that Saturn tends to look at the world, and we all have to work with that at times. Number 4 is depression and melancholy. So the winter, the dark part of the year, death, the reality of death, impermanence, suffering, detachment, and having to let go, those are hard realities for us to square up to and, in a sense, have to deal with. And so depression and melancholy are almost like byproducts that Saturn will often bring with it, as, like, this is what I'm ordering for breakfast. Give me a dark comedy, or give me a little melancholic music or artwork. It doesn't necessarily have to be like Eeyore and there's just a rain cloud following you around and nothing is good, everything sucks. Melancholy can be like almost like a contemplative and artistic and very imaginative state. And even ancients thought that. But the depressiveness, the heaviness, the weightiness, the melancholic feeling that this world is just heavy because of death, right? Because of impermanence. Saturn will order those things up, always does. Number 5, things that grow in time with hard work. Saturn, the lord of the fall equinox, the fall harvest, right, as the exaltation lord of Libra, place of the balance. Saturn looks at the arc of time and a life and says the things that you have built slowly, methodically, maturely, responsibly, whether it's a craft or a skill or an ability or an art form or a relationship, in time, the work you have put in will render results. It is the ultimate in terms of put in the work and you will get a good result. So things that grow in time with hard work, Saturn's always ordering up. Now, we could probably list 10 more things, and I'm sure all of you listening out there could probably add some things too. So this is just an exercise to get us going. Now, to follow the little example I was using, we're at the Airbnb of Aries. So now the Mars-Sun host dynamic has to provide for its guest. And this is a super easy, fun, efficient, and just a very effective way of creating delineations. So what does Mars and the Sun serve to its guest who wants all of these things? Well, it can only serve Mars and the Sun together as the two hosts of this sign, can only serve what it is in their nature to serve, Saturn. So, for example, one thing that Mars and the Sun in this fiery temple of the Ram tend to serve up are leaders, leadership, solar figures. A solar figure could be any person with central power or authority, like a boss, a CEO, a king, a queen, an emperor, a military leader, someone who has a lot of clout or power or executive decision making. So now take this and put it together. So what Saturn orders? Death and endings. Who or what will be involved in death and endings? Leaders and solar figures. How about maturation, seriousness, and severity? Well, Mars and the Sun will give leaders and solar figures. In other words, the maturation of your leadership in a job, or the maturation of leaders that you work with, or the need to grow more serious in your responsibilities and lead more, even as a parent or in a relationship. I'm going to take more responsibility for the health of my family or my marriage or whatever the case might be. So you can see how the leaders and solar figures can be channeled into any of Saturn's needs: sobriety, boundaries, and discipline. What might that mean? Well, feed it leaders and solar figures, and you might get leaders that have to become sober. I know it sounds weird, but it's like, sometimes leaders get drunk on their own power, or leaders might have vices, and this is a placement that could somehow hold accountable leaders or solar figures. You've got to sober up, or you've got to become wiser, or take your job more seriously, or something like that. And you're also going to see that leaders and solar figures just have to step forward with greater discipline, boundaries, and so forth. You will also see depression and melancholy and solar figures or leaders, meaning that there could be a way in which if you work, let's say you work with a boss and they are going through a period of exhaustion or fatigue, or you're going through that while being in a really important role of leadership or power or importance somehow. So you can see how the two things work together to create kind of a weightiness around people who have authority. Things that grow in time with hard work: leaders, solar figures. If you put in the work, you may become more of a leader in some environment or space. You can see how all of them work together. What else does Mars and the Sun serve up? Well, how about heroism, individualism, individuation? All of these are very Mars-Sun-like themes. So heroism, my life is an adventure. There's something to be accomplished. There's a quest. There's a mission. Individualism, I have to develop my own confidence, my own resources, my own strength. Individuation, I'm becoming who I'm meant to be. These things are very natural to Aries with the Sun-Mars dual rulership. So then we just plug that in. When we say heroism, individualism, individuation may happen through our encounter with death and endings, may happen through a process of maturation, seriousness, or severity, may happen, we may individualize, individuate, or our journey may involve the very important process of becoming more mature, more boundaried, more disciplined, in order to individuate, we may have to battle with depression or darkness or fear or any of the darker, heavier qualities like depression or melancholy that Saturn represents. Or our heroism, our individualism, our process of individuation is something that is going to grow in time with hard work. You see how you're just feeding one to the other. Willpower, ambition, and purpose, another thing that the Sun and Mars serve up. They serve it to Saturn, and we say, well, Saturn delivers death and endings, and the Sun provides its with willpower, ambition, and purpose, which means that we may feel defeated. We may feel like something we've tried to push and do is just not working, or it's reaching a natural limit or expiration. Our purpose, our willpower, our ambition is running into a brick wall, and there's a learning there. Or we may find that our willpower is having to grow more mature. We can't just press the gas pedal. We have to have concerted, disciplined, focused efforts. We have to develop endurance and staying power. We may find that willpower, ambition, and purpose, in order for them to be nothing more than hot-headedness, need greater sobriety, boundaries, or discipline. You see how all of the, and you could keep turning this jewel in a million different ways. In order for willpower, ambition, and purpose to be truly cultivated within, we may need to overcome depression or melancholy, something that says life shouldn't be easy, or it's hard or depressing or heavy, and we may find that we're having to lift that weight somehow. Not surprisingly, one of the things that really stands out to me with willpower, ambition, and purpose, and Saturn is the potential with things that grow in time with hard work. Get to the gym, right? That's like something that I really value, since it's kind of a hobby of mine. Like, yeah, you know, take the opportunity to build your body, your physique, your health, through hard work and discipline. There's a refining of willpower and ambition. So then we look at pioneering, risk-taking, and competition. The Sun and Mars loves to serve up these things, loves to start new things, take risks. There's a competitive edge. Well, if you're trying to start something and you're met with death and endings, it could be that there are major obstacles you have to overcome while trying to start something. There could be major obstacles you have to overcome, or disappointments or failures or difficult endings that somehow catapult you into a phase of pioneering. You see how they work together. And then the competitiveness. Look, when we're defeated, we learn a lot, or when we have to persevere to overcome something and win, we learn a lot. And then finally, well, I'll say like, also, you can work through all of these. I don't want to labor every single one, but I would say that in order for most of us to accomplish something that we consider to be like starting a new business or learning something new, or any kind of pioneering or entrepreneurial endeavor, will usually require that we learn staying power, that we become more structured, that we become more serious, that we have to grow up to make something exciting be more than just the initial burst of excitement, something lasting, something that actually turns into something that we want. In order for us to pioneer, risk-take, competition, but we can't because we're depressed, or there's this melancholic vibe, or it's something that you have to overcome again, right? And also things that grow in time with hard work. How about that company you want to grow? How about that risk you want to take? How about that competitive quality that's driving you? Well, it'll only work if you keep persisting over time and putting in the work. Finally, I think the Sun and Mars at their worst can provide things like dominance, arrogance, bravado, bluster, bullying, or domineering attitudes. So could we run into hard endings in our life because of the way we're treating other people, being overly domineering? On the other hand, could we go through a kind of a phase of death and of almost like reconstituting something in our life because we have to face an oppressor? That is a very common Saturn and Aries theme. A lot of the times we grow and we become more mature when we look at aspects of ourselves that are too much, that are a little arrogant or a little domineering. I think, probably a lot of us well-meaning good people may have little edges like that. This is a transit that can help us just get a little bit nicer and kinder and more mature in the way we wield that fire in us, because we all have it. How about sobriety, boundaries, and discipline? learning to stay disciplined, learning to not be overly reactive or confrontational or competitive, learning how to set boundaries, learning how to say no, learning how to tune certain things out while letting good things in. When it comes to the Sun and Mars providing things like bullies and Saturn providing things like sobriety, boundaries, and discipline, you might have to learn how to defend yourself or be more boundary. When I was in high school, Saturn was in Aries, and I went through a period of time where I experienced bullying pretty severely for about a year. Not every day, but like constantly enough that I decided to leave school and go to a community college because they had this program in Minnesota. They still have it where you can dual enroll and go to community college your junior and senior year, get credits for high school, and start to get credits for colleges. The credits would transfer in state to different schools in Minnesota. So I took advantage of that as a way of also putting myself in a different environment so that I could focus on learning. And because I was a very passionate, intellectual type of personality. I think I still am. Anyway, and I had to make choices to separate myself from people that were trying to cut me down all the time, and do something that was a risk, leaving school, going to college, you know? So there you have it, right? How we deal with things like oppressors becomes really important. You can feel beat down, depressed, or deal with melancholy because you're dealing with people who are kind of walking on you. And also things that grow in time with hard work, the courage to overcome oppressive forces, whether they are oppressive forces within ourselves or in other people. So anyway, that was a little like maybe hot and fast going through all of it. But again, think of it simply. What does Saturn order that is natural to Saturn? Then, how does Mars and the Sun serve it things that are natural to it, providing it with the material that will feed into the things that Saturn naturally needs and wants and does. So I find that exercise to be really useful. You can see how it works, and you can see how, if nothing else, it just really allows you to start turning that jewel of an archetype, Saturn and Aries. You know, what can it mean? What can it bring up? These are some pretty good examples. But you take that and come up with your own. And if you would like, I would love to see some of you take this exercise and show me what you come up with in the comments section. What does Saturn order? How does the Sun, Mars provide? Tell me what you think about that, because it would be really fun to see you guys working with that. Okay, after I sign off, there's going to be an informational video about the Year 1 program, which comes up at the end of June. This video contains everything you need to know about the class. I hope that you'll come study. It is a fantastic thing to really like zone into a space of astrological learning. The ability to speak this language more fluently, more confidently for yourself, and maybe serve others around you, even if it's just friends and family, is something that I think everybody who sees astrology as a part of their spiritual path should consider at some point. And I think Nightlight, personally, just tooting our own horn, I think we're a great community, a full staff of wonderful people. If you resonate with the way that I teach and work with astrology, then you'll probably love the courses, because it really does represent the best work of my career. The curriculum of our 4-year programs, I think, is the best thing I have to offer people who want to go deeper with astrology. So anyway, on that note, hope you're having a good day. See you again tomorrow. Bye. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around. I'm excited to tell you about our upcoming program, Ancient Astrology for the Modern Mystic. It is our first-year course in Hellenistic astrology that begins at the end of June. June 22nd is our starting date. I'm going to take you over to the course page to tell you more about the program and what you will learn while you are in it. So here we go over to the Nightlight Astrology website. You can find this at nightlightastrology.com. Click on the Courses tab, go to the first year course. Now this program is ideal for people who maybe have a little bit of background already in astrology. Maybe you've done some studying on your own independently, taken some courses or webinars and workshops, but you're looking to deepen your understanding of astrology. And maybe Hellenistic astrology in particular has been calling to you. I'll tell you more about what Hellenistic astrology is in a minute, but on the first year course page, you're going to find everything that the course includes. I want to make the structure of the course clear first, and then at the end I'm going to tell you 5 reasons that I think anyone might have for studying astrology, and you can see if you check any of those boxes. First,
I've wondered if, yes, this is just, giving somebody breadcrumbs to keep us happy.
Okay.
But we'll see. I mean, we'll take it as a win for now.
It just seems like, why is there a special carve out for this one product? We have special guest with us, Dr. Mary Tally Bowden is a board certified, I can't say that, otolaryngologist. How do you say it?
Otolaryngologist.
Okay, and she's a sleep medicine specialist who completed her residency at Stanford University. She successfully treated more than 5,500 COVID-19 patients without a single death. Look at that. But she was nevertheless suspended by the Houston Methodist Hospital over alleged vaccine misinformation. She's the founder of BreatheMD, a clinic focused on personalized sinus, allergy, and sleep care. Dr. Bowden is also known for her work in publishing research and her involvement in advocating for health freedom through initiatives like the Coalition for Health Freedom. Please welcome back to the show, Dr. Bowden. Thank you for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
So I just want to play this. So if people don't know, you stood up, you had to show, courage and tenacity, and most people, I would say most people in the medical profession did not. And so you got a little tribute from our favorite member of the Texas legislature, and I just want to play that.
Dr. Bowden, you're my spirit animal. I know that sometimes you feel alone and you're looking around saying, what is everybody doing? Why aren't more people standing up? And I want you to know you're not alone in that. I know exactly what that feels like. But I want you to know that God surrounds you. He's proud of you for standing up. He will protect you, and you continue your obedience because that's what you're here on earth to do. You thought you were just going to be a doctor. And I don't mean just a doctor because you've done amazing things, but God has big plans for you. And I'm so proud that you continue to stand firm for what you believe in. Thank you so much.
Hear, hear. From someone who's taken the slings and arrows not as badly as you have, over telling the truth about COVID, that must have felt really nice, right?
It was wonderful. Do you know Shelley's backstory?
So
because she was.
Yes. So Shelley. By the way, let's talk about Shelley. So tell us her backstory. Go ahead. I'll let you tell it.
She was put in prison for 3 nights because she refused to lock down. She owned a hair salon, and she stood up, and she's not the type that would go to prison, right? And she stood up and stayed strong, and then she was so mad that she ran for office, and then she just won this last election. So she's a brand new representative.
Wow. So she actually went to prison to fight against the authoritarian fascist lockdowns that most people accepted and most people pushed, and they would slander you if you spoke out against them, which was the most anti-American thing I can imagine. People act like fascism just came to America with the election of Donald Trump, and I had to remind people like Cornel West on my show and many others that you've been living under fascism. You just cheered it on instead of fighting against it. And someone like that, a hair salon owner, did fight against it, had more courage than all the people I normally look up to. And of course you stood up against it also. So that's great job. And this just happened. This was on May 15th. She tweeted out, "Tonight I passed HB 3441. It's a bill to hold vaccine manufacturers who advertise in Texas liable for injuries their products cause to Texans. Let's make Big Pharma put their money where their mouth is." So that's a great, you must have been excited to hear that also, right?
Yeah, I actually came and testified for that bill too, so it was even better.
So how does something like that get passed in a legislature like Texas, especially knowing how corrupt our politics are in general in the United States?
Well, yeah, it's surprising in some ways, and in some ways it's not. I mean, at the same time, there was a bill to make ivermectin over the counter in Texas, and that died.
That failed.
The bill to ban mRNA shots in Texas, and that died. So, they had to give some leeway, and this is what they decided they'd do.
Now, my theory, my guess is that they think it's going to get struck down by the Supreme Court, and that's why they were willing to go along and give a small victory to people like Shelley and us. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I've wondered if, yes, this is just, giving somebody breadcrumbs to keep us happy.
Okay.
But we'll see. I mean, we'll take it as a win for now.
It just seems like, why is there a special carve out for this one product that nobody else, the vaccine, I saw Borla, the head of Pfizer, he was asked, why do you have this carve out for no one can sue you for damages if they're injured by a vaccine? And he said, well, that's because people can get in a car accident and they can say, oh, it's from the vaccine. Well, they can say that about any other drug. They can say that about a high blood pressure medicine or a cancer treatment or any other drug, yet you don't have a special carve out for that. You just have it. So that, and of course the interviewer didn't push back and say that to them because the interviewers are being paid by the big pharma, and that's the big problem in America. So it's crazy that there's this one single carve out. And isn't it amazing to you how much they've been able to get people to go along with the big pharma propaganda about the carve out for vaccines?
Well, I'm kind of mad at myself because I never questioned it. I remember learning about it in medical school, and it was presented as a great victory for vaccines because vaccines were protected, and it was the gospel according to vaccines. There was no discussion of any kind of issues, side effects, dangers at all with vaccines. It was just taken as a fact that vaccines are safe and effective, and they deserve this special protection so that nothing could happen to them, that they'd never have a threat to go away or so. And I never questioned mandating vaccines for children to go to school until the COVID shots came around. And when you think about it, all medical mandates are fundamentally wrong, but we've gone along with it for so long. When we take our children and get them shots, vaccinations, only because the school is making us, that's a medical mandate. And I don't know about you, I can't speak for you, but the majority of people have gone along with that.
Well, I, like you, never thought about it until COVID. And I don't have children, so I wasn't faced with that dilemma. And what shocks me is that I have friends today who I consider very smart, and they go along with the vaccine schedule without question, no skepticism whatsoever. And, I talk to them and I say, that within the first day, they give a vaccine to a baby for hepatitis B, which can only be gotten through intravenous drug use or unprotected sex. Why would you give that to a baby? And their answer is, well, that's the first one they give them. That was literally what people say. Well, that's the first one they give them. Like, that's as if that's not ridiculous to say. So I'm lucky I dodged that bullet. I didn't have to make that decision and live with the guilt that I probably would have right now if I got my kids on that schedule. What do you, okay, so anything else you'd like to say about that before we move on?
I mean, it's hard. I mean, I don't envy parents of young children because I don't, none of these vaccines have been tested against placebos, saline placebo, and they haven't been tested where you give 6 shots in one day. So it's a dilemma. And, what I'm telling my patients is, maybe hold off until hopefully, Robert F. Kennedy will straighten that out and we get some real data.
Yeah, so when they say that they've been safety tested, what I've learned since COVID and what I've learned because of the work of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is that when they say that they've been tested, they've been not tested against a placebo, which is an inert saline solution. What they've been tested against is another vaccine. And some of these tests are very short. They've only followed up for, you can speak, how short are some of those tests?
Generally, I believe about a month sometimes, not long term.
Yeah, so you would think it would be 10 years. You think they would follow these, but no, it's not. Some of them, just 4 to 6 weeks, and which is very disconcerting to me. And you're not allowed to ask these questions because people get scared. They've been told the propaganda is, well, if you ask questions about the vaccine schedule, you're liable to make other people vaccine hesitant, and then everybody's going to get sick and die. That's the big propaganda, right?
Right, right. And the other thing they don't tell you, and we learned this during COVID, is early treatment works for the vast majority of diseases that are being vaccinated against. There is a treatment for. So that's also not being discussed.
Yeah, it's amazing how measles went from a punchline on the Brady Bunch when I was a kid to now being the scariest thing in your kid could ever face, and a life-threatening illness that everybody should be shitting their pants about on a 24-hour basis. To me, it's just amazing. And when I show those videos of how it was a punchline on the Brady Bunch, and to now you'll see these dramas on NBC talk about, oh my God, and they have the dramatic music underneath. It's just goes to show you that when Bill Clinton allowed Big Pharma to advertise on network television, that was really, really a horrible thing for this country. And people don't know that we're the only country besides New Zealand that does that. And guess which two countries were the most authoritarian and oppressive during COVID?
Right. That's a good point.
So we live in a completely corrupt society. That's what I'm trying to say. And I can't believe people still turn to corporate news for their news. Even after COVID, even after Russiagate, even after the Iraq War twice, even after Afghanistan for 20 years, and even after they lied to their face that Joe Biden wasn't demented. And when everybody knew that, I knew that he was demented in 2019. And so if I knew that, they knew it too. And now they're all pretending that they were hoodwinked by the administration, although we know they weren't. And those people, the thing that's surprising to me is not that corporate news lies, because that's what they do. The biggest liars are the government. Second is corporate news. And third are randos on social media. But what's surprising to me is that people continue to go back to those people who've lied to them at every turn since I can remember. They've lied to them at least since the Iraq War. They've lied to them about everything. Isn't that surprising to you?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the pandemic changed that to some degree. I mean, I'm certainly a lot more skeptical I used to watch mainstream news. Now I would never. And I think that there are definitely more of us out there now.
Come see us live in Los Angeles, Buffalo, Toledo, Montreal, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, London, Liverpool, Birmingham. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.
Okay. Here we go, everybody. It's me, Gregory Manorino. It's Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Let me say this right off the freaking bat here. No one's ready for this. Nobody is ready for what's coming. You know why? Because they never are. They're never prepared for it. And then they wonder, they sit back and say, why didn't anyone tell us? Why did not anyone tell us that this was going to happen? And I am working so hard, especially as of late, to get this message out to as many people as I possibly can to understand what's happening. Because it's the same story throughout history, over and over and over and over again. Oh, no one saw this one coming. Oh, no one told us this. But look, guys and girls, it's so obvious. It's so blatantly shoved in our face. But again, there are those still who they're just blind. Willfully blind, blinded by fear. We got to take action. You and I, we're already there taking action, guys and girls. Now look, so this is my pre-market report, obviously. We're going to talk about that, but I really want to cover this. So much right now, backlog, that I need to get out to you guys and girls. I'm probably going to be putting out at least 2, maybe 3 newsletters a day until I get caught up with my work for you guys and girls. Lately I've been getting up at like 4:30 in the freaking morning. All right, I've been working on a lot of stuff for you guys. And this is something, again, it's in your inbox right now. If you do subscribe to my newsletter, which I'm going to urge you to do, all right? I want out of here. I don't want to be on this YouTube thing anymore. I need your help for this. I don't. This is a controlled mechanism, YouTube here. There's censorship here on your part and my part. These ads, I know you guys and girls don't like to deal with them. Let's get rid of all that. Let's create our own environment over there. So if you're interested in this, again, please subscribe to my newsletter. Link in the description of this video. Anyway, look, I'm going to cover that with you, but let's just go over, let's just do the broad sketches here, what's happening this morning. So bond yields around the world are rising on the back of this debt downgrade here in the United States. This is what's going on here. U.S. 10-year yield as well. I mean, this isn't anything dramatic. It's not dramatic, but it's everywhere right now. This means that, well, you know, debt isn't being seen as the safe haven that it once was. The whole system is being converted into something else. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. We've been talking about this forever, man. But people are just not being made aware by design of what's happening. So you got bond yields rising, and that's just not a great thing right now, I'll be honest with you. In this environment here, look, we do need higher rates, period. But we do not want to see an uncontrolled sell-off here in the debt market. We're on the precipice of it right now. Could happen at any moment. An uncontrolled sell-off in the debt market, spiking rates at an uncontrolled pace will melt down the stock markets of the world, which have no bearing on reality, wipe out the economy of the world. There's going to be pandemonium in the streets because it's going to lead up to what? Credit freeze, a locking up of the system. That's what they have in store for us, guys and girls. So you better start getting hip to the situation here, and then they're going to make us beg for a new system. This is why the entire world is being transitioned right now, and that's what I want to cover with you. So anyway, dollar getting hit this morning. This is relative strength basis, not much, just a little bit. Yesterday was pretty dramatic. Stock futures this morning, lower, not much. The Fed's going to get in here and start buying more. Now, speaking about the Fed, today, we're going to hear from the Federal Reserve. There's a couple of public speeches that are planned for today. This could move the markets one way or the other. The power of this single organization here to yank the economy and the market and we the people in any direction they want to is frankly unprecedented. That's why this institution needs to end. It's not going to end. Every single world leader, every one of them are working together to empower their central bank, and it's a vomitous thing when you hear a world leader saying, I demand lower rates, I demand a weaker dollar. I mean, and people don't revolt over the fact of hearing that I demand a weaker dollar. You gotta be kidding me. This is how dumbed down people have become. You can't make that up, but that's exactly what's happening. Gold and silver are higher this morning a little bit. Crude oil is a little bit lower. Bitcoin, crypto is under some pressure. Look, man, so the market today at the open, nothing major here. No, it's waiting for the Fed. Again, we're gonna hear from like 3 or 4 different creatures. They're gonna walk out of the Federal Reserve and make a speech like we really need to hear what's gonna come out of their puke mouths. I don't want to hear anything that comes out of their puke mouths. And I'm gonna tell you guys and girls right now, listen to me. Please listen to me here. You're ready for this. There's no doubt in my mind if you've been following this blog for any length of time. People are not ready at all. This again is in your inbox. Please share this stuff. Get it out there. Now I'm going to cover this with you at length, and I'm going to skip over a few parts here because it's just too much. But again, this is in your inbox, so you can read through this in your own time and let it sink into you. So Lions, a new economic axis and a new system. Well, it's closer than anybody thinks it is. Yesterday, I put out not 1, but 2, maybe even 3 newsletters yesterday. One of them was discussing how we are in the final phase. There are 3 phases, 3 and only 3 phases, which leads to the development and fall of a world reserve currency. Right now, the United States as the world reserve currency is in its final phase. It's in its end stage of the final phase. We don't have much time here. I outlined why in the video I did post-market, in that paper as well. Check this stuff out again. Where is it? It's right in your freaking inbox if you subscribe to my newsletter. Link in the description of this video. So Lions, a new economic axis and a new system. It's closer than you think. So Lions, what is happening right now follows precisely in line with what we would expect to see. People, we cover this all the time. Go back as far as you want to go. I am not saying that I and I are correct here 100% of the time, but I and I are correct 90% or better. Overstand? I'm not going to say understand anymore, because you got to stand over something to understand it. So we overstand it. You understand? All right, guys, listen. You got to joke around a little bit here, right? So be sure to read what I wrote yesterday again, An Inconvenient Truth Part 2, Reserve Currency Downfall, the 3 phases. It's very important. Now, as we have discussed multiple times, a new system is coming. And you know what I mean? Everybody knows it. This is what gets to Greg Manarino over here. Everyone knows it's coming. Well, there are some that believe, oh, the Fed's going away, we're going to a gold standard. Same thing we heard during Trump's last tenure. And what happened during Trump's last tenure was the Fed was vaulted to the pinnacle of power. No other president in the United States history did more to serve the Federal Reserve than Donald Trump. And I'm not picking on the man. I'm just telling you that's a fact. If you can't handle that fact, that's on you. It's not on me or anyone else who follows this blog. This is a fact. Look it up for yourself. Look what happened to debts and deficits under President Trump's last tenure. We were promised that Trump's economic plan at that time, we were going to pay off the debt in 3 years. Tariffs were going to do it. Guess what? The debt ballooned at its highest and fastest pace ever in history. We were also told that tariffs were going to pay down the deficit. The trade deficit. That didn't happen either. Ballooned to its highest on record. But again, let's give the guy a second shot. Actually, we had nothing to do with it. You know that. This was not an election. This was a selection. And every world leader is put in place by those that are pulling the strings. And they're leading us right to this. So, as we've discussed multiple times, a new system is coming. We all know it. With that, we are witnessing a controlled demolition of the old system. Sounds familiar to you? Yeah. That's exactly where we're going. So this is being done as follows, and I outlined this for you. So break the old system through basically 3 mechanisms, okay? How are they breaking the old system and in turn breaking us? You and I here, okay? Inflation, war, and chaos. Period. Okay. Then offer a solution through a central bank digital currency, controlled trade blocks like the BRICS, for example, global lending support, the IMF. The IMF is doing something right now. Well, they've been doing this forever. This is not new. But I'm going to discuss what the IMF is doing right now. It's not going to surprise you because this is an ongoing thing. But the IMF, the International Mafia Fund, they are creating a system of digital control. They're globalizing authority, and they're erasing sovereignty. Well, let's talk more about this. So, Lions, right now there are over 100 countries developing a central bank digital currency. How many of you even knew that? Now, I have listed just a few below, and this is not a complete list. So right now, and I list this for you guys, major nations and central banks working together, developing a central bank digital currency. And yes, the United States is on this list. Now, I used multiple sources here. So this is being broken down as pilot programs and advanced development systems. Now, I'm just going to show you this list real quick so you can look through it. I'm not going to look at the top. Look who's at the top of this list here. Look what's going on. Look what's going on. These are all the nations so far that I got on my lovely list. Oh, look who's there, the United States. Yeah, there you go. How's that look for you? And of course there is a few more. Right there we got Japan, Indonesia, and then we got this BRICS expansion thing. People, I want you guys to really look, man. You're not being allowed to know so many things, and it's just so in our face. So let's talk about this. So BRICS expansion, Lions, a new economic axis is expanding rapidly. Now, a lot of people don't even understand because they're not being told. Is a president telling you this? Is the central banks telling you this? Or is the CNBCs, the Fox business, are they telling you this? No. But here's what's going on, Lions. The new economic axis is expanding rapidly. And I covered this yesterday as well in a couple of my newsletters for you. So, new economic axis is expanding rapidly, and what do they want? What are they working towards? Obviously, dethrone the US dollar as the global reserve currency. Trade in local currencies like yuan, the ruble, or a new BRICS settlements system. And this is what they're working on. BRICS are actually exploring as well blockchain-based settlement systems as well. Wow, imagine our shock there. Oh, no, I can't believe that one. Now, Lions, right now, this is what I wrote, and this is easily verifiable. It's an incredible thing. So Russia and China are actively dumping U.S. treasuries, and Saudi Arabia are new best friends, according to President Trump. I'm not putting him down. That's what he said, okay? You guys and girls can take this any way you want to, all right? The man said it. So why can't I reflect that to you because I have TDS? This is what he said, period. So Saudi Arabia, our new best friends, according to Trump, along with the UAE, are already sidestepping the petrodollar. People, everyone knows this, and they're not the only ones sidestepping the petrodollar. I mean, come on. Now, let us move forward. Lions, the world is preparing for a post-dollar economy. Does that sound right to you, or is Greg completely deluded on this one here? And you know who's going to be the last to know? Well, of course, the American people. Why? Because who's telling them this? Is anyone telling them this? No. You got the propaganda over here. You got more deceptions over here. You got a distraction over here. You can't make this stuff up, but that's what's going on. So this is what the IMF is doing right now. And again, look this stuff up for yourself, because again, this is digital slavery here by the monetary priests. So let's talk about this. So the new IMF debt channels. The IMF is creating new debt channels, and this is all they do. So let's talk about this. So Lions, I urge you to look this up. The IMF is offering climate loans. Now this is not what it sounds like. I want you to look into this. So it's how it's working. So poor nations desperate for food and energy, or in a multiple crisis, debt crisis, the IMF steps in with quote-unquote assistance here. Now the result is these nations become digitally enslaved, just like we are here in the United States. You think we're not digitally enslaved already? Wait till you see what's coming next here. Run not by their own people, but by unelected globalists operating through the monetary levers. I mean, they're pulling the strings. The IMF becomes the financial priesthood of Babylon, offering salvation through debt. And that's what we're happening here. They're telling us, listen to it. We just got this debt downgrade here. Have you heard a single policy being put in place right now by President Trump or anyone here in the United States? I'm not picking on President Trump. We just got downgraded again. The last rating agency to hold the U.S. debt at AAA just downgraded it. Now, have you heard a single word, a single peep, an utterance, a syllable, a grunt, anything to say, you know what, we're going to start reining this in? No, what you're hearing about is further debt expansion instead. This is enslavement through debt, salvation through debt, however you want to look at it. Again, there are those of you out here who believe that President Trump is right in saying we need lower rates and we need a weaker dollar. Lower rates means, and a weaker dollar means, the Fed has to vastly inflate, gain more power over all of us here. When you hear a sitting president call for this, again, this is the greatest thing that could ever be heard by a central banker here. It allows them to inflate further. Lower rates is also enslavement. It doesn't help you. You borrow weaker dollars and you pay them back with even weaker dollars. These loans that you get at a lower rate. We need to reverse this. We could turn this all around in a nanosecond, people. Again, look back on history. I did a whole paper on this. The most prosperous times in United States history, or any nation of the world, is when rates were higher and the currency was stronger. We need to return purchasing power to the currency, not take it away. And if you have fallen through that trapdoor and believe that President Trump is correct in saying we need lower rates and therefore a weaker currency, then you're absolutely lost. There's no help helping you at all. You're done. So just, I don't know what to tell you. You're just freaking done here. You're absolutely unable to think whatsoever. And history doesn't prove anything to you, but President Trump is correct. And I'm not calling him out, but I'm telling you he's wrong. We all know he's wrong. 85% of you know he's wrong. There's still 15% of you that believe he's right. And that is a tragedy on a massive scale, because that 15% of you, you're going to lose more than anybody else. Look, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I want you to engage your own brain. Try it. It might work for you. If you engage your brain and understand what's going on here, you're going to be a lot better off. Trust me on this. Now, people, listen to me. please do this. I need you guys and girls to back me up here, all right? Subscribe to my newsletter. I want out of YouTube. I'm getting a lot of pushback here. A lot of pushback. Greg, don't leave YouTube. Don't leave YouTube. We have the same thing in a different platform without the censorship. This is freedom, people. Freedom. Freedom. Put up a small paywall. The smallest paywall that is allowed, okay, by Substack is $3. $3. I get maybe half of that goes to over there, but we build a paywall to stop the scammers, to build freedom, no censorship. Is it worth that to you, or is it not? I don't understand why you people love YouTube so much. I can't believe how many of you are telling me, Greg, don't go anywhere. Why? Why wouldn't you want to join me over there at Substack? This is freedom. Freedom for us. Unless you want to stay a slave, I don't know what to tell you. I really got to make a decision here. I was pretty fixated on us going over there to Substack. I want you to subscribe to my Substack no matter what I do. Right now it's 100% free. But why not just a tiny paywall to stop the censorship? The ads here. Do you like seeing these ads here? Would you rather have no distractions here? Of course you would, at least in my book. But if you don't want it, man, like I need to hear from you guys. What do you want to do? All right, I'll leave this up to you guys. It goes, what do you want to do? You want to stay here on YouTube and deal with the censorship? I'm censored here. I can't say what I want, and neither can you. Sometimes your comments, they don't show up for days or at all. You like that? You want these ads to keep showing up here? Is this what you want? You want the scammers out here? Is that what you want? Well, then that's fine. Then I guess I'll stay here with you then. All right? But you guys and girls tell me what you want. Because look, man, I answer to you. I answer to God the Father, the creator of all things, number one. And everything else underneath. And you guys, yes, I answer to you too. So you tell me what you want. You want to create a platform of freedom, or you want to stay here? You guys and girls let me know, all right? I promise to read the comments. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Put this all together, people, and get this.
What's happening, you savages? Uncle Joey here and my main man Lee Sayat. It's the church New Testament coming your way. It's Tuesday, the 20th of May. Do what you gotta do. Hey, Uncle Joey here. It's a beautiful day to be alive. I want to talk to you about Blue Chew. Listen, even if the rest of your life is a disaster, you can at least have some great sex with Blue Chew. In other words, you could sling dick like a fucking animal. Blue Chew helps men be stronger, harder, and longer. We're back. What's happening, beautiful people? It's Tuesday, the 20th of May. Memorial Day weekend, so you got this and Wednesday, and then everybody comes soft. They're thinking about potato salad, what color they're gonna fucking put the tablecloth, you know, whether it should be red and white or blue and white or whatever the fuck. What's up, dog?
Dude, it's funny because I know you hate it, but for people who work like normal jobs, weeks like this are like we dream about them.
Listen, dog,
it's fucking amazing.
Even when I worked, even when I was in prison. Okay?
What are you talking?
I didn't give a fuck about Memorial Day, right? Even
well, yeah, in prison every day is Memorial Day.
Yeah, every day. No, not really. You get scabbed, black people yelling. It's fucking amazing in there.
Well, yeah, but you did have a job. You had the bakery.
Yeah, I had the kitchen.
And then that
I got fired from the bakery. Remember, I almost blew up the kitchen, right. So they said, we got a better job for you. We got something better.
And what happens if you don't want to work? Because to work all day for $1, fuck you.
Dog, it's like 25 cents an hour. I was getting 37 cents an hour, and I was like a high paid dude. Like, I was making $1.80 on the streets. 37 cents a week times 5 hours or something like that. 37 cents a day times 5. That's $1.50 a fucking day. I was getting $10 every 2 weeks, but I had the fucking bookmaking operation, so that's how
You have to.
you have to.
And then, like, I don't know if you saw it, and
I wasn't getting high in that. Let's get something straight.
You did acid.
Yeah, but $3 a hit. What I'm trying to say is, for a joint and a half, they call it what? Matchboxes? What's the matches with the box that you hit on the side?
Yeah.
What's the name?
Striker? I don't know.
The little box? A matchbox. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
It's $50 for a joint and a half of fucking regular shit. I don't even know what they were paying in there for coke and heroin. I know they do each other's cottons and shit. Like one guy holds on to it and he gives it to the other guy.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, HIV.
Teamwork.
Yeah, HIV for everybody. And everybody gets HIV. Everybody's gonna have a sore and a skinny neck in 3 years.
Fuck. Dude, but like I don't know if you saw, and I wasn't even planning on talking about it, but what happened? I think it was like New Orleans. Like 10 people escaped because they just ripped the door off of the hinges.
In prison?
Yeah.
Like people gonna.
Oh, it
escape
might have
in
been
the
jail.
fucking-
Like I know there's a difference, but like 10 people escaped. They've caught like 3 of them, and like the guard said like they stayed away because they were afraid for their safety. Like they ripped the door off the hinges, and then like they took like the sink in the cell and pulled that away. And I think I was on CNN today. It took them like 8 hours to realize they were
Who
gone.
gives a fuck about inmates? How about the Mexican ship?
Yeah.
Into the Brooklyn Bridge. Mexicans jumping off. The one guy playing the guitar as he's sinking. What the fuck? Why would you fucking go under the bridge? And then, they killed like 6 people, right?
Yeah.
Killed 2 people, injured fucking 8, Listen. Columbus was the last Spanish guy. Knock it off. If you're Spanish, leave it to the fucking white dudes that smuggle weed, whatever.
And why do they have
How
a
the
sailboat?
Fuck are you gonna crack into the fucking Brooklyn Bridge? A bunch of people out there. Viva Zapata. Selena Gomez was out there and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
That poor bastard.
On a sailboat.
Did you see that? It's
Yeah.
a fucking nightmare. It's and I love Mexican people, but what's with the fucking ship? Leave that to the cartel. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that smuggle and shit. Unbelievable. The cartel does all that shit. These were amateurs.
I gotta be honest, the cartel does it better.
Yeah, they wouldn't hit a bridge.
No, not in a sailboat. Those fucking... Dude, can you imagine? Like, imagine if the bridge went down. Like, I don't know how that even happened.
Go down from that little faggy boat.
I don't know.
You gotta hit that with you gotta hit that with like one of those Navy ships, shit to rattle the core and
But it wasn't Navy, but I guess it's a Mexican Navy.
Mexican Navy. Well, how many times have you seen a commercial for the Mexican Navy? If they got 2 million people, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Have you seen, like, they have videos of the cartel, and they have better equipment than the Mexican, like,
Bro, they got
armed
better
forces do.
equipment than fucking... They got everything. They know what everybody else knows. You don't make that type of money, and you're gonna pay... Let's pretend they make... I just give you a number, a realistic number. $1 billion a year, which is bullshit.
Right.
They probably pay $250 million in counterintelligence.
Yeah.
You know,
For
for
like
that,
what-
you gotta buy fucking missiles and cameras and fucking, see in the dark shit. It's the shit the government has.
Probably, like, even better. And, like, well, like, what do you... When you say intelligence, what do you... do you think it's, like... Does that include, like, paying people off at the border, or what do you mean?
All that, even more. That's a complete different envelope. This is an envelope that just goes to, like, DEA. They buy CIA files. They buy everything. With that type of money, it's no money. No number is bigger. Yeah. Those guys make a lot of fucking money, Lee. Truckloads at a fucking time.
And what
was fucking Escobar making in his heyday that he made the Forbes fucking list? He was making, I think it was $6 million a day.
Probably, yeah.
$6 million a day. That's $42 million a week. Are you fucking kidding me? What can't you buy? Even if he takes the shit and go, you know what? I'm just gonna get my dick sucked at a strip club. He could just light the fucking. When he froze, he burnt $100,000, $1 million to keep his family warm.
Right.
With matches. Who does that? Who burns $1 million
I gotta be. They'd have to be really cold for me to have to burn 100,000.
Oh, but you're Jewish.
Would you burn 100,000?
Fuck, for my family, fuck yeah, to keep them warm, $1 million. When you have,
when you have that amount.
When you have 42 million, what's $1 million? When you have 42 million, and you got another 42 million coming in next week, what's $1 million?
You would think that, but that's how like
even if I shoot the operation down after May, I still got fucking, 84 million.
Thanks for being here, brother. Thanks for being here.
That'll make me laugh.
Young Toady, Angel, Lurkers, Burrito, Lurkers, thank you.
I don't know why people don't quit when they have that much money.
Because think about it. You want more fucking money. Look at Elon Musk. Why didn't he quit?
He doesn't have cartel money.
He passed pretty close to it. All those guys in the fucking Forbes list, those top 10 guys, they got dough. They got loot.
Yeah.
It's like I was watching that stupid show last night. He robbed a $900,000 chain from some chick. For somebody, a woman, for your husband to buy you pretty much $1 million chain, they gotta have 30 million in the bank. People like, let me buy her $1 million chain that's gonna sit in a fucking drawer. Is it an investment?
And it got robbed?
Well, on this TV show, it doesn't
matter.
Okay,
I thought it was.
But who spends $900,000? That's fucking shit money. That's.
I don't even. That's so much money that I can't even wrap my head around.
No, you're not supposed to. So mind your business. You know what I'm saying? What are you worried about? $42 million. What will you get me all hot and bothered? I was gonna go home and start selling coke again. You know? I'll tell you what happened to me this fucking weekend.
What's that?
Parks was great. Last week was great. Sunday, went to little Joey's 8th or 9th birthday party. And I get there, I go inside, it's like 1 o'clock, got a couple numbers in me, and right away they got like a really good Italian sandwiches. But they had little ones, little bite-sized ones. And I go, you know what, this will hold me over till the dinner at 4 or 5. So I ate a little piece of sandwich, fucking great bread, great coconut. I'm good. I didn't want to sit in the house no more. It was a nice day, so I went outside. And when I'm sitting outside there, they ordered cases of fucking White Castle.
Oh, right? Shit.
So I'm sitting there minding my own business, watching the kids play, talking to some of the parents. And one of the kids goes, Joe, you want a White Castle? And I go, you know what? I'll take a White Castle. And I ate one. I'm like, this is pretty fucking good. And then I ate another one. And you're like, this is pretty good. But I didn't touch the fries, and I only ate 2. I usually eat 3.
With little small slider things.
Yeah, I usually eat 3. Today I ate 2. And it's funny, when you move here, like I did, I went to White Castle the first time with my wife and daughter. Everybody loved it. You should have seen them on the way home. You thought I fucking introduced them to the fucking, Johnny Van Buell. Then like the second time, they were all like a little hesitant. Like, I don't know. If you want to go get them, we'll wait for you. And when I brought them home, I went up a few hours later, there was like maybe 2 or 3 missing. And then one day I asked Mercy, I go, you just want to go to White Castle? She's like, not in a million years, Dad. And I'm like, why? And she goes, Dad, my stomach got really sick last time for a couple of days. And I'm like, she's young. My stomach don't get sick. Let me tell you something. I went home last night. I relaxed. I smoked some dope. I got the week ready. This morning I got up, took a shower, ate breakfast. And when I was driving around this morning, I'm like, man,